Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a different topic, I guess. This isn't anything that I've really done before, but I do really want to start making and getting into talking about music on YouTube. It's something that I just love my music so much. For my first sort of music based video, I'm going to just do a normal, simple, current playlist video, just talking about some of the songs and the artists and stuff like that I've been listening to. I hope that you enjoy it. If you do, then please give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you are new here. That would mean a lot to me. But before I actually get into this, I'm also going to just say that my music taste, I don't know how to describe it, to be honest. I listen to quite a few different types of music. I think you'll find that out on here. Looking at this list, all of them are quite old, I think one of them is from the 60s, and I think the newest song that I've got in here, actually there might be one quite new song. When I say that, it's probably 10 years old already, I don't know. But I like my old music. I like my 70s, my 80s, my 90s. It depends what genre it is, but yeah, I listen to alternative sort of music, I guess you can call that. I actually don't have any heavy metal on here, which is surprising because I love my metal music. But yeah, I don't have any heavy metal or just any metal, I don't think. Oh yeah, I do have actually one song. Sorry, I do have one metal song, but like I say, that's pretty surprising because I do love my metal music. I just wanted to put it out there that I will be doing some more music videos in the future. So if you like this one, then please give me some recommendations of certain things that you'd like to see. And not only that, but also I'm a bit the reason why it took me so long to actually be filming this sort of video is because I really wanted to put in snippets of different songs into my video, but I'm still a bit confused on the whole YouTube copyright thing and stuff like that, and I believe that they're really strict now, especially when it comes to music. So I think I might want to skip over that because I'm not going to film an entire video, upload it and then get it took down for copyright claims or whatever. I just don't want to risk it, so I'm not going to be including any snippets of songs on here. I'm sorry. Any links to all the music that I've been listening to recently will be in the description, in order of what I say them. I will also put on the screen the song title and the artist, or just the artist, or whatever it is that I'm talking about. I'll put it on the screen as well so you can see what it is basically. Anyway, I'm just going to jump in straight to the first one. This is in no particular order. This is just what I've been listening to recently, what I've been enjoying recently, and what I think I just want to talk about it. I just want to give you some music recommendations and stuff, and hopefully you'll like some of these. So yeah, I hope that you do enjoy the video. The first song that I've got on my list is Strangelove by Depeche Mode. I absolutely love new wave is it even new wave? I don't know. I feel like now that I'm filming, I'm gonna fuck up all of the genres and stuff like that. I'm gonna get everything really messed up. But yeah, Strangelove by Depeche Mode. I haven't listened to too much of Depeche Mode. I definitely need to dive a bit more into their music and stuff, but what I've heard from Depeche Mode I absolutely love. I've been listening to them now for quite a few years. Like I said, I'm not 100% clued up on Depeche Mode, but Strangelove is, I think it actually I was just listening to music one day at work and it just came up and I fell in love with it instantly, even though it was at work I only have one earbud in. That's saying a lot. If I fell in love with a song that's playing when I've only got one earphone in, I think that's saying a lot. So yeah, the next song is showing my dad rock sort of vibe coming through. It's Thunder Road by Bruce Springsteen. I can't remember how I found this song. I think I was in the car with someone, and it came on and I just instantly started jamming to it. It is, like I say, it's sort of a dad rock song. I don't know whether to class Bruce Springsteen as country or rock and roll. I don't know what to really class him as, but it is sort of the a nice mixture between the two. And I don't listen to too much country music. I don't really listen to any country music, to be honest, but I really vibed with this song. So if you like sort of like your old rock songs, maybe not even old rock songs, if you're just into a bit of rock, then maybe give that a go, because I really liked it. The next one is a punk song, because obviously I listen to my punk music. I do love a bit of punk music. So it's Apathy by Subhumans. I've loved Subhumans for so long. I believe that Subhumans must have been one of the first bands that I got into when I started discovering punk music and getting into that sort of stuff. Once again, it's a bit like Depeche Mode. Like, I started to get really obsessed with them, and then I wouldn't say that I died out from them, but I don't know, I think I just listened to them a bit too much. So yeah, it was one of them things that it just came on, and I believe that this wasn't the first time that I ever heard that song. I'm pretty sure that I'd have probably heard that song before, but whenever I listened to it, it just clicked in my head. I was just like, yeah, I like that. I do love my punk music for a number of reasons. Obviously one day I'm gonna like do a whole video about punk music and stuff like that. I'd love to. I really would love to. Maybe one day. I just love punk music, like the whole ideology and everything. I wouldn't say that I agree with every single part, but I agree with the vast majority of what punk music has got to say, especially the punk music from the 70s and stuff like that, which is actually surprisingly still very like real and relevant. Yeah, relevant. But yeah, Subhumans just in general, like, I don't listen to them a fat lot anymore, but it's one of those bands that, like, if they come on, I physically cannot switch it over. I cannot switch it over because I just love Subhumans. The next song is the only... Hold on, let me have a quick check just before I say something that I don't mean. Yes, the next song is the only song on here that is a metal song. And I'm sorry, but it is going to be a metalcore song, actually. Now, I used to dig my metalcore back when I started listening to metal and stuff like that, along with, like, the classic bands. It was a kind of, like, a weird mixture of listening to, like, the classic 80s heavy metal bands, like, you know, the obvious ones like Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, stuff like that. But along with that, I was also listening to metalcore. One of the bands that I never managed to, like, get rid of once I got out of, like, my metalcore phase was OTEP. Now, OTEP is a female-fronted band, metalcore band, and she's just amazing. Like, I don't know how to put it. Like, she's just amazing. And genuinely, as far as metalcore goes, I know that some people are just like, don't like metalcore, and they're a bit what would I say, they're a bit gatekeepy about metalcore and the metalcore genre in heavy metal and, well, just the metal community. There is a lot of gatekeeping around metalcore, but genuinely OTEP is such a great band. I absolutely love OTEP herself, that's her actual name. And yeah, it's a female fronted metalcore band, and it's also that nostalgic for me because obviously I listened to these guys when I was like so young and stuff, and when it, like, metal was so new and fresh for me. And this song is called Trick by OTEP. This is a song that I used to really dig back in the day, but I kind of like lost it really fast. I don't know why. I really don't know why. When I'm filming these videos, my mind goes blank when I'm trying to say something, when I'm trying to put a word out. But it wasn't that easy for me to, like, listen to music and stuff like that. I didn't have everything right in front of me at the time, so that's probably got something to do with it. And there's a lot of those sort of, like, bands and songs that I've lost through the years because of the fact that when I was growing up and stuff like that, not only was it, like, a few years ago now, but also I was quite young, and I didn't have things like a phone and stuff like that. So it was either that I listened to it on CD or I listened to it through the TV. Like back when Kerrang and stuff, I'm not sure if they're still a thing, but you know, like MTV Rocks and stuff like that, I would always listen to it on that. I think it was just one of the songs that I lost because it did sound quite familiar when I listened to it. But yeah, OTEP has always got a special place in my heart because of the joys that it gave me when I was so young and stuff. The next song is 6 Years on Dope by NoFX. This is another punk song. This is definitely more on the pop punk vibe though, which I do, it kind of annoys me, to be honest. Like, they are a punk band, but they do sound quite pop punk. Basically, they've got the sort of messages of a punk band, but they sound really pop punk, if that makes sense. That's kind of like NoFX in general. I haven't listened to too much of NoFX, so if I am wrong about that, then I'm sorry. But from what I've heard from NoFX, that is the sort of vibe that I get. It's just one of those punk bands that sound like pop punk. The lyrics and the ideology and the meaning behind the songs are a bit more punk side. So yeah, but they have always been classed as a punk band. So yeah, take what you will from that. The next one that I'm going to mention on here is just a general thing. Beastie Boys. What can I say about Beastie Boys? I don't know, recently I've just been listening to a lot of the Beastie Boys. It's just a good time, it's just a fun time. Like, whenever I'm sort of like really angry and stuff, or like, I don't know, things are building up or whatever in my head, I listen to the Beastie Boys and everything's just solved. Because, I don't know, like, if you've ever actually listened to the Beastie Boys, like sat down and properly listened to them, they're just a good time. They're just one of those bands that are a good time. So yeah, it's kind of like a weird cross between punk and rock and hip hop and stuff like that, and yeah, it just goes. It's just so fun, and just one of those bands I listen to and I'm just like, who gives a fuck? Like, you know, it's just a really light-hearted band and stuff, and I'll definitely recommend to anyone. The next song is quite an old song. I believe that this, by the sounds of it, it sounds like it's from the 60s. This is a very old ska band. Well, the song itself is a ska song. I'm not 100% sure what these guys did. I'm not completely sure because I don't actually know too much about the artist or anything like that, and this is the only song that I've ever listened to from them, and it is 007 Shantytown by Desmond Dekker. Like I said, this is a very old ska song. By the sounds of it, it's an old ska song. I would want to say 60s, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm guessing because all the 60s ska music and stuff that I listen to sounds similar to this, and like sort of has the sort of same ska vibe. But yeah, I love my ska as well as like my fun sort of hip hop, whatever. Ska is just a good time for me as well. Like, they do definitely have their meaning behind their songs and stuff like that, especially like stuff like the specials and people like that. They do have quite a lot of meaning behind their songs a lot of the time, but at the same time it's also such like an upbeat sort of like, you know, easy to listen to sort of dancey music sort of thing, but also done like with trumpets and stuff like that. It's genuinely, if you haven't listened to ska, especially the older proper ska, go and listen to it because it's such a good time. And like I say, there's actually a meaning behind it as well. So it's not just like a good, easy to listen to song, it's also like, you know, if you get deeper into it, it's about, you know, different problems and stuff like that. And a lot of the ska bands and the ska musicians from this time, and also like further on as well, a lot of them were black artists, and obviously they are there talking about different problems and stuff involving black people, so it's definitely like quite an important genre as well that I will always love ska. The next song is Tension by Killing Joke. I don't care what anyone says, I will always love Killing Joke. And the funny thing is with Killing Joke is that I love them so much and I love so many songs of theirs, but they are a band that go back so many years, and they have so many different like songs and so many, you know, they've experimented with quite a lot of different music as well. So there's always something new that I haven't listened to from Killing Joke that I'm gonna fall in love with. And this time it's Tension by Killing Joke. I can't remember which album it's from. Like literally the vision of the album is in my head, but I can't for the life tell you which one it is. Another band that I've been listening to, or a group, I'm not too sure whether to call hip hop groups or bands. I do like a bit of hip-hop, the older hip-hop definitely, but yeah, I do really like my hip-hop. So the next group or band or whatever that you want to call it is House of Pain, and there's 2 songs that I'm actually going to mention. So the first song is called Back from the Dead. I don't know what it is, like I don't know what it is about hip-hop, and this is the frustrating thing with me not being able to insert clips of music in here, is that I can't actually like I'm really bad at explaining, so unless like I actually play a clip of music, I can't really tell you exactly what it's offering. Like I can sort of give you the sort of genre or like what it sounds like or whatever, but I can't give you too much other than like the name and the band and the song and whatever. But yeah, Back from the Dead is a really good song. And then they also made a song with Helmet, which is a punk, I believe it's a punk band, pretty sure it's a punk band, but they made a song with Helmet which I think is somewhere along the lines of punk. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I'm aware, they're along the lines of punk, called Just Another Victim. And I just loved it because it was like, and also my music, like 2 genres that I absolutely flipping love, merged into one, like come together, made a song, and that's just amazing for me. So yeah, and it was just something that I'd never thought had been done, is 2 very different but also somehow similar groups and bands of like people come together, made a song, and it just really works. The next song is also, again, showing my dad rock side, Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. Once again, I'm not completely sure. I think this just popped up on the radio when I was getting a lift home or something like that, and it was just so good. Recently, that must have been the most recent song to this date that I've discovered and I've fallen in love with. It's got a bit of a long intro, but once you get past that and you're onto like the guitar bit, it's just so amazing. I don't even know how to describe the guitar part at the start. It's just, you need to listen to it. You need to listen to it, and then you can be like, yeah, I don't know how to describe that either, but it is fucking amazing. The next song is a bit of a, I wouldn't say it's a guilty pleasure, but it's kind of like one of those songs I was listening to and I was like, this is probably what the sort of like emo people of these days listen to right now. Because when I was emo, it would be like Pierce Veil, Fall Out Boy, stuff like that. It was more pop punk for me, back when I was emo kid. But this song is called Shut Me Up by Mindless Self-Indulgence, and I believe that this is the most recent song on this list. I'm pretty sure it is. Pretty easily, actually. A lot of these songs are like 80s, 90s. So pretty easily probably the newest song that's on here. It's kind of like a industrial song, but I also don't really want to call it industrial. And basically it's got like a very industrial sort of sound to it. It's quite like a new song as well, so keep that in mind. It's not going to be like the 80s where you had KMFDM and Skinny Puppy, stuff like that. It's not going to be the same vibe as those sort of bands. Because it is a bit of a newer song. I'm not completely sure what year. I think it's probably about a decade old. I mean, I say newer music, but it's still about a decade old. So we're finally moving on to a goth song. The only goth song on here. I guess you can kind of argue that Killing Joke is a goth band as well, but it's a tie between punk and goth and just like everything else as well, because they've experimented so much. But yeah, the next song is my only goth song on this list, so I'm sorry. One day I will make a full video once again about goth music and different music that I like and stuff like that. I'll definitely dive deeper into the goth genre in the future. But at the minute, it's just the one song, and that's Die Ich or something like that. I don't know. I think it's in a different language. I think it's probably like German or something. By Sex Gang Children, and this once again would have been from the 80s. I can't remember exactly how I found it, how I started listening to it. I think it was just, I mean, I haven't listened to that many songs by Sex Gang Children either, and I think it was just like I was listening to random songs and then this one came on, and the xylophone at the start, I'm pretty sure it's a xylophone, But you know when you're just like, oh my god, that's such a weird instrument to throw in there, but it works so well. I'm not too sure if they've got xylophones in all of their songs or not, or like whether it's just like an occasional pop-up, or maybe it's just this song, but it's got a xylophone at the start, and it weirdly enough, strangely enough, really fits in with the vibe, and it really fits in with their song. Like I say, this band is a goth band, so yeah, if you like goth music, I would definitely recommend that one. Obviously if you haven't heard it before. The next song is quite a popular song. I would arguably say that this is one of the most beautiful songs that I've ever heard, and that's Because of the Night by Patti Smith. Patti Smith is another artist that I've never really dug into. I hear her name thrown about a few times, but I don't think I've like really properly listened to her ever before, which is kind of a disappointment. It's a pretty big disappointment. At the prime age of 20, I should know who Patti Smith is, but I don't. And Because of the Night is just, oh my god, it's just a beautiful, beautiful song, but then it's also so powerful. Her voice is beautiful, and she's beautiful as well. I just love it. I just absolutely love it. Like I say, it's got quite a powerful element, it's got some like beautiful elements and stuff like that. It's just such a good mix of everything, and then a bit of like, you know, you've also got a rock sort of vibe as well going with it, but it's also not like too into its rock. I sort of want to say when I'd be listening to this music, probably if I've got nothing to do and I just want to be in the moment and like I'm not with anyone and stuff like that, this is the sort of song that I'd probably put on. I don't know what sort of moment I'd want to be in, but maybe waiting for the bus. You know, I'm just really enjoying standing about for the bus. Let's make it even more enjoyable by putting a bit of Patti Smith on. We are down to the last two songs, so I'm going to go over these because, yeah. The next song is kind of a bit of like another playful, fun song. I found it quite funny the first few times that I listened to it, and that's Ronnie 2 by Chaos UK. Now, to briefly sum it up, basically this is about a guy who's sort of a bit troubled and stuff like that, and yeah, you just have to listen to it. Sorry, I thought that was something on my face, but it's something on my phone. I've always loved Chaos UK. I love my punk music, like I say, especially my classic 70s, 80s, 90s punk music. Absolutely love it. So yeah, Ronnie 2 by Chaos UK, definitely a fun time. If you ever need a song that you can listen to that's a bit more light-hearted and stuff like that, I would say it's a bit light-hearted, even though the topic's a bit like, but it's just one of them. It's just one of them, like, you know, really fun songs. You kind of like forget what they're actually talking about. It's also a really short song as well, so if you've got a bit of ADHD, then that might be for you as well. That's what I really struggle with. I really struggle with like long songs. When you know that I'm listening to punk music, and you know that I'm listening to punk music because the songs are like 2 minutes long at the longest, my ADHD is kicking in really bad, as in like my shortest attention span. So yeah, there's that one. The last song that I'm going to mention is a song that I've been absolutely loving recently. I've been loving all of these songs, obviously, else I wouldn't be talking about them. And it's 18 and Live by Skid Row. Skid Row, surprisingly as well, is a band that I haven't really listened to that much. I'm disappointed to say it, but I didn't know what I was expecting from Skid Row, to be honest. I definitely didn't expect what I listened to when I listened to that song. I'm definitely going to be doing a bit more like research and digging with their songs and their music that they've released. Also, I didn't expect them to be such like up my street as well. I think a lot of the times I hear what a band's name is, or I see like the logo or whatever, and I'm just thinking, no, that's not going to be for me. I think for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason I associated them with like Limp Bizkit and stuff like that, but it's really not. It falls in with Mötley Crüe and Guns N' Roses and people like that. It really does. So if you've ever thought that way like me before and you haven't tried out Skid Row for whatever reason, if the chances that you're watching this and you feel the same way as Skid Row, you know, like I did, then just give them a chance, because they are a really decent band and I flipping love that song. That is the playlist that I'm going to be sharing. I am so sorry that I can't include any clips and stuff like that. Once I learn a bit more, then hopefully I can. Yeah, I apologise that I can't do that right now. Like I say, everything will be linked down below. And that is everything that I wanted to say in this video. So I really hope you liked my little video about my recent songs and music and everything under the sun that I've been enjoying recently. Please let me know what songs you're into at the minute and what bands you're into, or what sort of things you think is fun or whatever. Maybe even some song recommendations that you got for me if you can think of anything. But yeah, apart from that, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in my next video if you want to come along for my next video. Bye bye.